The U.S. Navy's aircraft carrier is one of the most powerful military assets in the world, projecting power across oceans and serving as a floating airbase capable of launching fighter jets, surveillance aircraft, and helicopters. But while these massive ships are known for their formidable aircraft, cutting-edge technology, and ability to carry out military operations, there's one aspect of their operation that often goes unnoticed: the resupply process. These colossal ships don't just run on jet fuel and ammunition alone. To stay operational for months at a time, they require an extensive, well-coordinated resupply operation. But how does the U.S. Navy manage to keep these floating cities supplied with everything they need, all while they are out at sea and far from the nearest land? The secrets behind the Navy's resupply operations are a testament to the efficiency, coordination, and complexity of naval logistics. A core of this operation is the Naval Logistics Support System, designed to keep aircraft carriers and their accompanying strike groups, stocked and operational no matter how far from home they are. Aircraft carriers are self-sustaining to an extent, but they still rely heavily on resupply ships to ensure they have enough fuel, food, ammunition, and essential supplies to continue their missions. The Navy has developed a sophisticated system of resupply ships, known as Combat Logistics Force (CLF) vessels, that work in tandem with the aircraft carrier to keep it operational. These vessels are responsible for delivering everything the aircraft carrier and its strike group needs, from jet fuel and food to ammunition and spare parts. And they do so in one of the most complex and dangerous operations imaginable: resupplying a floating airbase while it's still at sea, sometimes in rough weather, often under the watchful eyes of potential adversaries. A major component of the resupply process is underway replenishment, or UNREP. Unlike conventional resupply operations where ships pull into port to take on supplies, UNREP involves two ships transferring goods while both are moving at sea. The process is highly choreographed and requires exceptional precision and timing. The resupply ships and the aircraft carrier, or ships in the strike group, must be positioned just right to allow for the transfer of goods. The ships usually sail side by side or at slight angles to ensure that the transfer can occur smoothly. During UNREP, various lines and hoses are used to connect the ships, allowing fuel, food, ammunition, and other supplies to be transferred from the resupply ship to the aircraft carrier. This is often done at high speeds, with the ships traveling at 10 to 15 knots, making the operation even more challenging. One of the most complex aspects of UNREP is the fueling process. An aircraft carrier can burn up to 2,000 gallons of fuel per hour when its jets are in operation. So a constant flow of jet fuel is necessary to keep the carrier and its aircraft running. During a resupply operation, specialized fuel lines are extended from the resupply ship to the aircraft carrier, transferring the fuel at high speed. This process has to be done with incredible care, as the ship is moving and the seas can be rough. If the fuel lines get tangled or broken, the entire operation could be compromised, and both ships risk losing vital resources. Along with fuel, the ammunition resupply process is another crucial part of keeping an aircraft carrier operational. During combat operations, an aircraft carrier's jets can consume vast quantities of ammunition. Resupplying this ammunition at sea requires a highly organized effort. The logistics teams aboard the carrier coordinate with the resupply ship to ensure that the right types of bombs, missiles, and shells are delivered. The process is often done by vertical replenishment, where helicopters aboard the resupply ship transport the munitions to the carrier. Once on the carrier, the munitions are unloaded, stored, and prepared for use. The quick turnaround in resupplying ammunition allows the carrier to stay in action for prolonged periods, even while operating far from the nearest port. But it's not just fuel and ammunition that need to be resupplied. Aircraft carriers are like floating cities with thousands of sailors on board who require food, fresh water, and other essentials to survive during extended deployments. This is where dry cargo resupply comes into play. Everything from fresh food and water to medical supplies and spare parts has to be delivered to keep the crew comfortable and the ship functioning. In some cases, this is done through vertical replenishment as well, with helicopters flying crates of food, water, and supplies from the resupply ship to the carrier. It's a process that requires careful planning, as the ship's crew needs everything from fresh fruit and vegetables to refrigerated goods. The efficiency of the dry cargo resupply operation ensures that sailors on board can maintain their health and continue their demanding duties at sea. Another fascinating element of this resupply operation is the spare parts logistics. An aircraft carrier is an incredibly complex vessel, filled with systems that require constant maintenance and repairs. If a critical system breaks down, it could affect the entire ship's operation. In many cases, resupply ships bring spare parts to keep the carrier systems up and running, This includes everything from engine parts to electronics and machinery. It's a unique challenge because the parts must not only be delivered, but must also be able to withstand the harsh conditions of the sea. Whether it's a critical repair or a routine maintenance task, having the right parts delivered to the carrier on time is essential for keeping it operational. But how do the resupply ships find the aircraft carrier, especially in remote regions of the world? The advanced navigation systems aboard both the carrier and the resupply ship make this possible. The ships are equipped with sophisticated GPS and radar systems that allow them to navigate through the rough seas and find each other at sea. The aircraft carrier's flight deck crew also plays a role in guiding the resupply ships into position. They work in tandem with the resupply ship's crew, ensuring the ships are aligned properly for the transfer of supplies. Communication between the two ships is critical, and real-time coordination ensures the operation is completed efficiently and safely. One of the most remarkable aspects of this entire operation is the timing. Resupply operations typically need to be completed in a matter of hours, and during that time, the carrier must continue its operations. The sailors on board the resupply ship and the aircraft carrier must work seamlessly together to ensure that no time is wasted. And all of this must happen while both ships are navigating the unpredictable ocean, sometimes battling rough seas and high winds. The logistics behind resupplying a U.S. aircraft carrier are an extraordinary feat of organization, precision, and coordination. It's a complex process that involves multiple ships, dozens of crew members, and a variety of moving parts. The operation requires seamless teamwork between the aircraft carrier's crew, the resupply ships, and the logistics teams coordinating it all. Yet despite the challenges, the Navy has perfected this process, allowing the aircraft carrier strike groups to remain operational and effective, no matter how far from home they may be. These resupply operations ensure that the U.S. Navy can maintain its global reach and project power, regardless of the weather, distance, or how long the carrier has been at sea. The secrets behind the U.S. Navy's giant aircraft carrier resupply operations are not just about the ships and equipment, it's about the people. The sailors who make these complex operations possible are the unsung heroes behind the scenes. Without them, the aircraft carrier wouldn't be able to perform its mission, and the Navy's global influence would be far less formidable. It's a well-oiled machine that combines cutting-edge technology, precise logistics, and above all, the incredible dedication of the men and women who keep it all running smoothly.